All right, so ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to be overviewing the pros and the cons of being a life insurance agent. I'm going to break all of it down for you guys, and I'm just going to go back and forth and give you guys some pros and cons of what it's like to be an agent. So let's start off. I'm going to do one pro, one con, and just kind of take it back and forth like that. So the first pro is that you can set your own hours, right? So when you become a life insurance agent, you can set your own schedule. Nobody's telling you what to do, when to show up, when to call, when not to call, all of that. It's all on you. You can set it up if you want to take a break, go on a walk, pick your kids up from school. There's no one telling you have to punch in, you have to clock out, this and that. So that is a major pro. But if you look on the other side of that, the con of setting your own hours is you do have to be self-motivated, right? You have to have that discipline to say, hey, I'm going to start work from this time to this time, because if you don't do that, you're not going to make any money. And setting your own hours is definitely a pro, but it's also kind of a con in a way, because for a lot of people, instead of their boss telling them what their hours are, they just have to tell themselves what their hours are. And a lot of people don't listen to themselves, right? Like they don't have the self-discipline to say, hey, I'm going to call from 8 to 1. I'm going to take an hour break, and I'm going to call from 2 to 6 or 2 to 7 or whatever it is for you. Most people don't have the discipline to hold themselves to that schedule. So they need somebody to tell them what to do, which is why, so many people have bosses, right? So if you are the type of person that can't stick to a schedule and can't motivate yourself and can't force yourself to do the work, setting your own hours is going to be a major con for you, right? The other thing too, which is really nice about the insurance industry, is that you can make multi-six figures as a personal producer, right? It is entirely possible. I've seen multiple people, make 200 to 300K just selling insurance on their own pen without having a team, without recruiting anybody, without doing anything crazy, just focusing, nose to the grindstone, hustling hard and selling policies. You can make multi-six figures, right? It's entirely possible. So you really have an uncapped income potential to a certain extent, because it's just how much can you do yourself. At a certain point as a personal producer, you are going to cap out, and then you would have to start building a team or doing that kind of stuff. But it's entirely possible to make multi-six figures doing this industry. So there's nearly an uncapped income potential on that end. That's a pro. The con of that is there is no income floor. So if you don't do the work, if you don't sell, if you're not getting people to buy, if you're not helping families writing policies, you're making a fat zero. So there's no base, particularly with being an independent insurance agent where you're not paid a salary. The salary jobs, you have capped income potential. So you got to pick one or the other. So if you have the salary, your income is going to be capped. If you don't have the salary, your income is going to be uncapped. So there's no income floor when you go the uncapped route, meaning that you can make $0, right? You really do. It's good to have a cushion when you get into the business, because if you don't sell, and in that first initial months of learning everything, if you aren't putting up the production that you need to or that you want to, you're not going to make much money. Like my first year, if I remember correctly, I'll have to pull up my 1099 because I want to make a video about that. The total that I made was about 26 grand for the year. For the year, ladies and gentlemen, for the year. So if you're not doing it right, you have a uncapped, or there's no floor. You can make nothing. You can make, minimum wage or less than, because it's all on you. It's 100% commission, which again is great because it's 100% commission. You can make whatever you want, but if it's 100% commission, you're going to make whatever you're worth. Right? So that is definitely a con. The pro is you have independence, right? And so this is a little different from setting your own hours. By independence, I mean that you can basically kind of pick where you want to work. You can pick which agency you want to go to. When you have your license, it opens a lot of doors. It opens a lot of possibilities for you, right? So there's so many different places you can go. Everyone wants to recruit you. Everyone wants you to sell for them. There's a lot of different options that you have, and you have independence to pick which one you want to go to, right? This also, comes back to setting your own hours. You can set your own schedule. You can work from wherever you want. You don't have to show up to an office necessarily. There's a lot of freedom and independence that comes with this business, which is fantastic. That's ultimately one of the things that drew me to it, because I'm the type of person where I can motivate myself. I choose to work 55, 60 plus hours every single week because I want to, not because someone's telling me to. And if someone told me to, I'd probably buck against the trend and be like, I'm not doing that. So independence is a major pro for the type of people that can handle it. The con of independence is there's so many choices. You really do have to, there's so many things you have to decide because other people aren't deciding them for you. So you have to make those extra decisions. That's the con of independence, is there's a lot of things to choose from. There's a lot of, the MLMs that you have to kind of look out for. Because there's so many options, there's also so many mistakes that you can make. So that's definitely a con. Another pro is that it's pretty easy to get into this business, right? All you have to do is pass the exam. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to get like a crazy certification. You don't have to, pay $100,000 in student loans to get a insurance license. You just pay a few $100, take a test, pass the test, and then pay for the license. So it's a very, very low barrier to entry, which is a pro because it's easy to get into. The con of that is that it's easy to get into, but that also means that a lot of other people can get into it. And the ease of getting into it is not necessarily indicative of what the career is actually like. So it's easy to get into, there's a low barrier of entry, but most people fail because it's such a grind, right? And to give you guys an idea of how much of a grind it is, for your first few months, if you're not putting in 50 to 60 hours a week on the phones, there's such a learning curve you have to overcome with insurance. And again, uncapped income potential, there's so much money in this business, but it's not easy. It's a grind. You really just have to go full force at it and hustle and kind of have no life for a few months when you're getting into it to master the skill and to get better and better and better, so that once you have that skill, you can kind of take your foot off the gas and, chill a little bit more and work closer to normal hours. But in the beginning, you really do have to put in those heavy hours to make what you want to make. And, it's possible to make six figures, but it's not easy at all. It's you got to sell your soul for a few months to get on pace to do that and develop that skill. So it's not a cakewalk. The ease of getting into the industry is definitely not indicative of what the industry is actually like, which for a lot of people, if you don't want to do that, it's a major con because it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. One of the pros is it is a residual business. So the cool thing about this is over time, you start to build up a book of business that, pays you residuals every year. The residuals on life insurance are very small. Health insurance are higher, but there's lower upfront commission. But with life insurance, it's small, but once you sell enough policies, it does start to give you that safety net, that cushion that most people don't have, because you have this residual income that's just building year after year after year after year, right? So that is definitely a major pro. It's a very nice thing, the residual. And the con with life insurance is chargebacks, right? So you are going to have chargebacks. Basically, the way a chargeback works is if somebody does not, when you sell a policy, you're getting advanced 9 months of the 12-month commission. This is going to get a little convoluted. So there's 12 months of premium that they're paying, which makes up 1 year. You get advanced on 9 months of that premium, right? The other 25%, they pay you when the person makes the premium payment in the 10th, 11th, and 12th month. So you're getting advanced 9 months up front because the person hasn't paid 9 months of premium. They're basically giving you call it a loan of that money up front. So you're getting that money up front. But if the person doesn't pay their premium up to whatever point, you have to pay back the difference of what they didn't pay. So you could sell a policy and then get paid $1,000, and then next month they don't pay their premium and you have to pay the $1,000 back, which sucks. It really, really sucks. It's a major, major con of the business. And it's really hard to get over that mentally, thinking you've made money and then having to give it back. It's very unfortunate. It's a very, crappy part of the business, but it's something that you have to kind of learn to live with, because again, there's a lot of money in this business, but it's one of the downsides. And that's going to be with any insurance, car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. All of them will have chargebacks. And it's because somebody is making a monthly premium, they're not paying it all up front, right? So that's definitely something that to keep an eye on. If you can't get past that mentally, the chargebacks, then maybe you should look at like a salaried job where there's like less risk of chargeback, where you're just like a paper pusher almost. There's other places in the business for chargeback or that don't have chargebacks, but if you're going to be on the front lines like selling policies, you are going to have to deal with chargebacks. A pro is you do actually get to help people, right? So what you're doing every day, you are helping families not have to pay for that, funeral bill, or if you're selling term, you're helping people protect their family if they pass away, to like stay in the house and all these different things. Like, you're making a real impact. If you've ever seen the downside of what happens when somebody doesn't have life insurance, you're preventing against that, right? And you're also helping out those families so that they can grieve in peace and move on and, have that financial burden taken off of them. So what you're doing is actually, you're making a real difference by helping these people and finding them the right coverage. And with my particular market, final expense, we're talking to seniors in retirement, which oftentimes are, they're really cool people. You get a few bad apples in there, as with anything, but in general, you're talking to very, very good people, and you're actually helping them, which is a major pro. Con, there are a lot of MLMs that will do shady things. So there's definitely a lot of there's fraud in the business. There's a lot of things that are not the best. And there's a lot of, bad actors that get attracted to the insurance business because there's so much money. So if you get recruited to the wrong spot, you could be around people that are doing bad things to these good people and not actually helping them. So that's something to keep an eye out. Whenever you're looking for an agency, make sure that you stay away from that, because you don't want to be a part of it, and you can lose your license just for being in close proximity to those people, to be honest with you. So major con, MLMs. The other con, I'll give you guys one more con, is this is a very slow and steady business. So if you're getting into this and you're expecting to make 10 grand your first month, it's probably not going to happen, right? It's a slow and steady grind. But the thing is, it's a slow start, but once you get that momentum going, it just builds up so fast that once you're really going, it's hard to slow you down, right? So the way that this business works is when you get in, it's slow, it's steady. There's so much to learn. It's just like you're just eating shit for the first few months, to be honest. So you're eating shit for the first few months and just pushing really, really hard and pushing really, really hard. And then slowly you start to get momentum and you start to speed up, and speed up, and speed up, and speed up. And then you're going so fast and you're selling so much and you're doing so well that you build this momentum in the industry, and you're starting to get more clients and you're getting referrals and all these things, that the flywheel just starts turning and turning and turning. And just as hard as it was to get it started, now it's even harder to get it to stop. And you have so much momentum going that you're really able to make the business work and make tons of money. And that's how the successful people in this industry do it, is they just stick with it long enough for the business to start working in their favor. So it's a slow and steady business, which is a con, but if you stick with it, it's hard to stop the momentum that you build. So ladies and gentlemen, those are a few pros and cons of being a life insurance agent. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys got value from it, leave a like down below, hit the subscribe button for more content like this. And if you guys want to learn more about our agency, we have a platform that gives agents all the resources they need to make 6 figures over the phone without buying a single lead. I put together a presentation that explains how that works. So if you guys want to see that, click the link down below. We're looking for more agents. And without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.